In today's video, we're going to be addressing a question that I've been getting on a lot of my videos, and probably a lot of you guys are wondering. If you're someone in the US, UK, or another place where regulation is sort of cracking down on the prop firm industry as a whole, what can you do? If you're somebody who is trying to get funded or you're trying to scale up your trading, it seems like all of your options are getting ripped away from you. With recently, we've seen meta quotes starting to pull their access from many unregulated brokerages and prop firms. And so it just seems like our limits are getting tighter and tighter. So how can you, as a US trader or from somewhere where regulation is strict, how can you still take part in the opportunities in the trading world? Well, in this video, I have 4 options for traders who are looking to scale up their trading for you to consider. Some you might like, some you might not like, but at the end of the day, I'm here trying to offer solutions to the industry, which is facing a problem with the whole regulation side of things. Now, first of all, before I get into the solutions, let me just say, I think regulation is actually going to be a good thing in the end. People don't like it in the short term, but I do think that regulation will bring some tranquility to the industry after the chaos gets done. What do I mean by that? Well, in the short term, there's going to be a lot of chaos because a lot of prop firms that were doing sketchy things are going to get revealed. They're going to get their accesses pulled. People are not going to be able to use them, and people are going to struggle in the short term. And I of course, my heart goes out to anybody who's going through tough times, who, maybe they just got funded and they lost their access, or they were trying to get funded and the company shut down or walked away. It's a rough ride out there. But I will say, I do think that in the long term, regulation coming to the FX prop firm side of things will be a good thing because it will help to eliminate a lot of the bad actors. I like to compare this to the cryptocurrency world, where in the crypto world, it was the Wild West, and it still is really, but regulation has come along and really helped to reveal a lot of the bad actors in the space. For example, FTX, where sketchy stuff is going on behind the scenes, people aren't made aware of it until regulation comes along and reveals it. I think it's better that we know the ugly truth than just to not know and suddenly get blindsided by it. So I do think in the prop firm space that regulation ultimately will be a good thing, though it poses some challenges in the short term. That being said, let's get into 4 ways to approach the markets with all of the regulation sort of problems that we're facing right now. The first option I have for people in the US and perhaps other countries as well, but I know for the US, is to move to a futures prop firm that you can trade with. Many traders right now are making the jump from FX, trying to trade currency pairs with leverage. They're realizing that if you trade FX in the US, your leverage is very limited. But if you really want to trade FX, you can also do some trading on the futures market as well. You can trade contracts of things like the S&P 500, the NASDAQ, gold, and so on and so forth. So that's a very viable option to make the jump to, especially if you are looking to get funded. This is going to be one of 2 options, and in my opinion, the better of the 2 options if you are looking to actually get funded. If funding is a must for you and you are in the US, I highly recommend you make the jump to futures and futures prop firms, because then you're actually going to be able to use a sort of protected futures prop firm. And again, those do exist. Those are sort of in compliance with the law, whereas FX prop firms are the Wild West and really not sort of any solid grounds. Futures prop firms are out there. You can look around the internet and find some good US regulated ones to check out. The second option is one that I don't actually think is viable, but a lot of traders do anyways. The second option for people who insist on getting funded is to go to offshore, unregulated sort of prop firms or brokerages that offer you deposits, deposit bonuses, higher leverage. And that being said, let me just say and reiterate, this is not my personal favorite of the list by any means. In fact, I would actually discourage this, but I have to list it as an option because it is one, right? Some traders are doing this. Some traders are using VPNs. They're using, offshore brokerages, offshore firms, prop firms to still get funded. Why would I say I don't think that this is a good idea? So let's say you are, really wanting to get funded and you decide, okay, well, I want to trade things like CFDs and I want to trade with a lot of leverage and I want to get, scaled up using someone else's capital. If that is what you insist on, then you may need to go the prop firm route. But if you can't use FX prop firms in the US, any sort of regulated place that doesn't really exist right now, if you really need that, then you have to go offshore, meaning you have to go to places where there is not some sort of oversight or protection on your account. And let me be clear, like with the FX side of things, there doesn't really exist anything like that at this time. This is why, this is sort of the problem on the table here today, right? So you can go offshore, right? But the problem with going offshore OS is that there's nothing to protect you from what's going on in this prop firm. You have no idea what's going on. They could be working against you. And it's been more and more revealed to the prop firm industry that a lot of prop firms are doing some predatory stuff under the surface that they're not showing you. What do I mean by that? Well, if you think about it, you pay for a challenge. Those challenges get to be pretty pricey, especially when you do several of them to try and get funded. But what if you found out that this prop firm, because they're offering you 90% of the payouts, meaning they don't really care if you make profits, they only make 10% of it. So instead, what they're trying to do is they're trying to get your challenge fee, right? Which is the prop firm model in the simplest form. That's how the industry makes money. They make money off of the challenges and the very minute number of actually profitable traders they split some of the profits from. However, if this firm is doing something sketchy to make sure that you fail those challenges over and over, or they work actively against you, you'll never know about it because it's offshore. There's no oversight. They could be doing sketchy practices and you will never find out, right? So to me, this is why I say I don't really like that concept, and I think that regulation is good. We need to know what's going on behind the scenes in these prop firms because, again, predatory activity is totally going on in the industry and people are not even aware of it. Most likely, if you've traded with a prop firm, there's a solid chance that there's predatory stuff going on under the scenes. You just don't know about it because there's no oversight, right? They're operating without any sort of oversight or consequences at this time. And I think that change will actually be good for the consumer, for the trader on average over time. That's why I think, yes, it's painful in the short term watching all these props explode and stuff, but I think that the good ones, the valid prop firm businesses out there, will come out on top, and that will be actually a good thing in the end. The third option is one that I think is very valid, though not going to be super satisfying to everyone. The third one is to just go back to actually growing your own capital slow and steady on a brokerage account. And again, not everybody's gonna like this because I understand not everybody has capital, but there is something to be said about opening up a small brokerage account, trading it conservatively, and growing it over time, depositing it from other sources of income. That is what I have done personally. I've also, started businesses and grown my capital in other ways, but over time I've deposited into what was a once small account into a much larger account. So this is a viable way to do it. It's the old-fashioned way, and it's the tried and true way to grow your trading capital. So if you're looking for a regulated brokerage, a good option brokerage, you can find some of those down below in the description. In my opinion, until we get some sort of solid footing for FX prop firms, I would say that this is the best option. I would say wait until the prop firm space, wait for the dust to settle before you get back involved. And in the meantime, go the slow and steady route. That's my personal opinion. Of the options here on the screen, we've got 1, 2, and 3. And the fourth one is the most, not going to be the best for people who are impatient, but maybe in the long term, the best one for all of us. The fourth option is going to be simply to wait until proper sort of guidance is set up. So wait for oversight regulation to catch up to the FX prop firm space. So if you're an FX trader, if you really want to trade currency pairs, my best bet for US people who want to trade on a regulated prop firm, that sort of thing, I imagine that in the years to come, if we wait, that will become an option and it will be a viable one. But for now, that's not quite there. So of these four, I would say 1, 3, and 4 are my personal favorites. Personally, of course, I've done number 3, the heaviest. I never really traded with prop firms back in my day when I first got started with the stuff, 2015, 2016. They weren't nearly what they are today. That being said, I think what they are today has some deflating to do. I think it's been really pumped up and inflated into this huge sort of almost bubble that's gone on. I made a video years back, well, not years back, but a while back, many months back, where I talked about the prop firm bubble, and that video has aged very, very well. If you want to go watch that, click the link in the top right here on the screen. But again, there's my options, guys. If you are looking for a brokerage to trade with and sign up with, I've got some regulated ones, and each one of those has some cool sign up perks available down below in the description. Click those links if you want to try it out. Those are referral links. You'll be helping out my channel if you choose to use them. And thank you for watching. If you're looking to improve as a trader, we've got some cool free resources here that I wanted to share as we close today's video. Down below in the description, there is a link to join our Discord channel or our Telegram channel. And we also have our website, a1trading.com, where traders can get access to free course material to help you improve as a trader. Remember, we are also live Monday through Friday on this channel around 9:30 a.m. US Eastern, broadcasting most live news events and that sort of thing. So hope to see you there. And also, we do have a couple videos here showing up on the screen. If either of these seems like it might be helpful to you, then make sure to click here or here, and we'll see you there.